This is by far the simplest scalping strategy. Look at these winners here. July 27th, when I got back from vacation, 4R. Over here, I had 2 losses in a row, -1R, -1R. Then starting on August 4th, 4R. August 7th, 4R. August 8th, 4R. August 9th, 4R. And August 10th, 4R. And then we go over to August 14th, 4R. And then today, the current day, I still have one yet running in profit. That's running at about 1.5R currently. All right, for those of you that were keeping count, that's 22R in August, or at least from July 27th to the current day. Absolutely insane. The problem is a lot of people want to know how to scalp. They're looking for a great strategy or a proven strategy. Now, I must tell you, this is a starting point. It's not an end-all, be-all, but is a starting point that is looking very promising so far for me. The main issue is that people get into scalping or they start to trade and they let emotions get in the way, either by over-trading, over-leveraging, getting greedy, or just risking too much. The goal here with this system that I'm about to share with you is to replicate or come as close as possible to how I actually trade the markets. But first, before I share with you the rules and how I execute these trades using this scalping strategy, I have to say I'm not a financial advisor and this is not financial advice. Trading is extremely risky. You can lose all of your capital, and this is simply for educational and entertainment purposes only. I make no guarantees or promises of anything, and my results are certainly not typical. With that said, let's now go head over to the charts and I'll share with you exactly how I execute these trades and use this system. Okay, now we're back over here in the charts. I'm going to share with you how I built this system. Again, it's a work in progress, but bear with me because I'm going to share with you the indicators and the rules for this trading strategy or scalping. All right, so first I'm on the NAS 100. You can see that here on my screen. I am on the 5-minute chart. The first thing you want to do is go ahead and add a few indicators to your charts here. So come up to indicators. The first one you want is the pattern smart indicator, which shares with you the swing high and swing low. Sorry, so type in swing in your little box here, and it is this one right here, pattern smart right there. The second indicator that I'm going to have up here is the cipher. Just type it in like this. It's the first one, Fu Manchu Cipher B divergences, and that is down here at the bottom. All right, so those are the only indicators I have in my charts. The second thing you want to do is go over to the line indicator here, or line tool, and you're going to use a horizontal line, and then you're going to put a horizontal line down here in the Cipher B divergences tool, or Cipher B divergences indicator at the +70 line and the -70 line. You can just right click over this and you can go right into settings and then set it to 70. And then also the bottom one, right click over it into settings and set it to -70. So there it is, -70. The other thing you want to do is just take off a lot of the junk on the Cipher B divergences indicator. So here are the settings for that. I only have these checked. You can see this first box here. As I scroll down further, you'll see that I have just that checked there on that particular indicator. So there it is. All right, so the idea here again was to create something that gets as close as possible to how I trade. It's not perfect, but it looks promising so far, and I am seeing some success with it. As you saw there, August has been an insane month. But before I go any further, guys, I just want to let you know that in my back test, there was a losing streak of 6 trades in a row, and that is why it targets 4R to offset those losing streaks. So I just want to be very clear on that because no system is perfect. Now, let me explain to you the rules. I'll zoom in here. So the time frame that I trade this on is 9:30 a.m. Eastern, New York Open. I'm looking for a trade starting at that specific time, and I'm only looking to 1 p.m. Eastern, New York Standard Time. All right. If anything happens outside of that, it is no trade. Okay, the first rule, what I'm looking for in this little block here, and I will circle it so that you can see it. What I'm looking for in this area right here, only here, I'm looking for these waves to come up and touch or cross over this red line here, all right, for a short. I'm looking for it to come down and touch. I'm looking for it to come down then and touch this for a long. The entry, all right, the entries are very critical here. The entry criteria is as follows. On the first red dot, for example, this would be a possible sell setup. All right, it doesn't mean that I just jump in right away. I'm looking to confirm now with market structure break. So to confirm, what I'm doing is I'm splitting my charts into two. All right, and this is the same day here. You can see if I drag this back over, this is the same day, July 27th, and I'm dropping down now to the 1 minute using the swing tool. I'm looking for a market structure break, which we have right here. I'll just remove this and I will draw it here for you, share it with you here. Right there is our break of the blue line swing low, which would be my entry point. Okay, and my stop goes above the highest swing high, which is right there. And then my target was 4R all the way down here. So if I just move this backwards, and if you don't know how to do this in TradingView, you come up here to the upper right and you can just simply click this and then you can just split it right there. So now if I come back over here, you can see that particular trade right here, how it got 4R. Okay, so that is the criteria to enter a short trade. Now let me share with you some other criteria or ways that I trade this. So let me scroll over to another setup so you can see it. All right, if we come all the way over here, we'll come to the next winner. Okay, this is a, let's see here. This is, yep, no, this is not a good example, but we'll go through this here anyway. All right, so you can see here, over to 1 o'clock. All right, price pushes up. We get down here at the bottom. This tool comes, this indicator comes very near or close to the 70 line. We have a red dot, which would be the potential sell entry right here. I'll mark it off so you can see it. Just move it over. There we go. Now that I have that marked off, we would slide over to the 1 minute chart here, which would be on August 4th. So let's go ahead and get all the way over to August 4th so that we can take a look here. And there's the second, and here is the fourth, that trade. So then if we zoom in, there is no entry for me if market structure does not break. And you can see what happens here. There is the break after this particular instance. Now, I do have a 5 candle rule on the 5 minute chart. And what this does is it keeps me from continuously looking for that market structure break. And what I mean by that is wherever this signal occurs, if it occurs here, I count over 5 candles. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. I'll mark that off right here. If by the 5th candle right here, zoom in on the 5 minute chart, if by the 5th candle from the entry point, there is no structure break on the 1 minute chart, then I will not take the trade. In this case, it does happen because you can see right here, I've marked off where that would end on the 5 minute chart right here. And there's our structure break. Now let's take a look at a few other examples here. So we will simply just go back to our 5 minute chart and we'll scroll over here and we'll take a look at a long example. So here it is. New York market opens up at 9:30 a.m. We have no trade. And guys, for me personally, if this blue wave is not touching or crossing or very near the 70, that line during the 9:30 to 1 p.m. Eastern New York session time, then I'm simply just not trading that day. All right, so you can see here at 11:25 a.m., I'll mark it off. We have a green dot right here as the blue wave touches the -70 red line. So once that happens, I don't trade. I go down to the 1 minute. I look for that market structure break to confirm my entry. All right, so if I go back over here, that is on August 7th. Let's just go ahead like this, all the way over to the 7th. And here we are. And this line marks off right here that particular signal on the 5-minute chart. So you can see that. That is this line right here. Now what I will do is count over 5 candles. So we'll go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right. So I'll mark this off right here. And you can see on the 1-minute chart to your right, we do break structure within that 5-minute candle time period. 5 candles on the 5-minute time frame. So there it is. That's our entry. And then we go ahead and it goes up and it gets 4R again. All right. So this is the gist of the strategy here, guys. I will tell you there is one other little caveat, and it is the number of attempts. So here's a good example right here. You can see there are multiple green dots down below. So how do I know to stay out of the trade when I see multiple green dots? So my rule personally is I will have 3 attempts, meaning 3 green dots. And if I don't get a market structure break on the 1-minute chart, then that is it. That trade is over. I'm on to the next day. So this will showcase a great example of that. Now, let's take a look here. I'll mark off the green dot right here. So there it is. Let's go over to our 1-minute on August 8th. So here we go. On August 8th, we'll come over here and we will mark off that first area. All right. So there it is, the green dot. At no point in time has market structure broke for me to enter a trade. If I go over here and I mark off, I count 5 candles. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's this right here. So I ask myself, in this little period here, has price closed above a red line? No, it hasn't. So on to the next signal. Looking down here in the lower left. All right, on the 5-minute, the next green dot is right here. Okay, let me remove this one. All right, I count 5 candles over again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'll mark this off. We'll mark that off right there. Okay. Again, in this area on the 1-minute chart, has price broken structure? No, it has not. So that would not be an entry for me. The last attempt here, right here, the 3rd green dot. And again, for this to happen, the wave still has to be below the 0 line. If this wave crossed up above the 0 line, then I am done. I wait for the next day. So right here, this is the 3rd green dot. I'll mark it off. Here we are on the 1-minute. I'll remove these other ones because they are now invalid, and we'll count over on the 5-minute chart to your left, 5 candles over. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'll mark this off here. Right there it is. Then I ask myself, in this period, is there a market structure break? Yes, there is. So that would be my entry. You can see that happens right here. All right, stop below the swing low, and then of course target 4R. As you can see, this trade does get its 4R. Okay, so these are the rules in a nutshell. Now, I will tell you, again, I've had 6 losses in a row with this system. I'm targeting 4R. From a management standpoint, with this particular system, if the trade gets to 3R, I am moving it to break even, not any sooner, and I am holding all the way to 4R. So I've done some back tests on this. It's still a work in progress for me. I want to share with you one more bonus item right now that can make the system even better, and how you can use some of your own intuition to modify this and make it even better than it currently is. So let me hop over now to MetaTrader 4 and share with you this awesome supply and demand indicator that I use that this can possibly be applied to. Okay, so before I go any further, I just want to make sure that you guys understand how the system works. Feel free to comment in the section below, ask me questions. I'll be more than happy to answer. And now I'm going to give you some bonus material here, so stay with me, because I'm going to share with you over on MT4 what I plan to do next with this to improve the system, have it trade even closer to how I personally trade based off of supply and demand, support and resistance, whatever you want to call that. So to do that, I am going to be using the TFX Trade Tools supply and demand indicator off of MT4 and MT5. There is a link in my description below where you can grab this tool. These guys also have the TFX trade manager that I use that auto calculates lot sizes, stops, and whatnot for me. Awesome tool. But with that said, let's head over to MT4 now, and I'm going to share with you my next steps to try to make a robot out of myself. Okay, so what you're looking at here now is MT4. This is one of my prop firm phase 2 challenge accounts. One of 3 of them. This one's in a little bit of drawdown, but I'm very confident that I'll be able to get this up into the profit target in no time here. So I do have a current trade running. You can see that there. That's from this morning using this very system that I'm sharing with you. It is about halfway to its profit target, so we'll see if it gets it. But I wanted to share this tool with you here. It is the TFX supply and demand tool. I absolutely love this thing because the goal here, guys, is that I don't want to trade the system just off of these cipher waves, hitting a -70 line, and then using a market structure break for confirmation. That is only 2 confluences. To build this from a mechanical standpoint and in theory to help increase the probability or likelihood that the trade can potentially be successful would be to add a 3rd confluence. And let's be real, I like to trade off of levels, and currently the way I have it built, it's not always trading off of a level. So using a tool like this from a mechanical standpoint will draw the levels for me and I can trade off of them. So here's how it works. There is a green bar here. I'm on the Chef JPY 5-minute time frame. And this green bar right here represents the support line. It will also draw resistance in red. And honestly, I have looked through Tradingview. I've looked at tons of supply and demand tools, and I have found nothing better in the last 3 years than this one right here I'm sharing with you. And again, there's a link in the description below where you can grab this tool. It's a one-time payment. I highly recommend it. I use it all the time. All right, so let's go ahead and share with you what it does here. So you can actually draw the 1-hour zones as well. So if I flip around here, let's say I go over to Euro Chef and I want to put this tool on, I just go insert, indicators, custom, and I'll just drag on the supply and demand indicator right here. And it draws the support zones and the resistance zones. This is the daily. I can just simply flip to the 1 hour and it will draw the 1 hour zones as well. And I can zoom in a bit here. You can see I'm on the daily chart. I can actually drop down to a lower time frame and it will keep up those particular zones. So I'm on the 15-minute. Let's go back. These are the 15-minute zones. I remain on the 15-minute chart and now it puts up 1 hour zones. Personally, I don't like this when the zones are this close. If I can put on the 4 hour zones and then zoom out a bit, and you can see the 4 hour zones right here as I zoom out. The resistance up here in the red, support in the green. So the idea here is to add this 3rd confluence in. Let's come back over the Chef JPY here. So here it is. There is a trade here on August 14th. If I come over to our Tradingview, you can see here that the cipher tool I circled down here at the bottom. You have some green dots touching off this levels, and you have a market structure break right here to go long. So there could be a possible trade right here. Now, I don't know if when I use the supply and demand tool, if I'm going to target 4R, because in theory, at least what I'm testing is that there may be higher accuracy here actually trading off of levels where I'm not going to have to try to get 4R on every trade. But I'm going to leave that up to you guys to test and to try different things, because that's what we all do here, right? We test, we try things, and we try to make these systems better. So that's the premise of what I plan to do next. Somehow I will eventually figure out how to get this coded here. If I come back over to it here, you can see how price again dips down into this area, and we're trying to identify those areas where there's a potential market reversal. So there you have it, guys. This is my scalping strategy simplified from a mechanical standpoint. This is still a work in progress for me. I plan to add things to it, and I plan to use supply and demand in this system so that I can trade a lot closer, or as close as possible, to how I actually trade using key levels. So remember, please be responsible. If you do any testing, make sure you use a demo account. And I want to thank you all for watching. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe. And I also run a free Telegram group. The link for that is in the description as well. Thanks for watching.